What's up, guys? Welcome to Reporting from the Kingdom, your number one source for all Chiefs info and news. I'm Bob, and today we've got ourselves a mock draft to head into. There's draft buzz is starting up, so we're just doing the Chiefs for today. Let's just get right into it. So I'm not really worried about what happens here early on the board. I probably won't trade up. I could see all that happening. Neighbors, Harrison, I don't know. Joe Alt, maybe. Rome Dunze, maybe. I don't know. I don't love how this simulator simulates stuff like Bowers there at 11. I think that's hype. So I don't love how some of this stuff simulates, but, I'm trying to get a rough, about like Kool-Aid McKinstry. I doubt he goes at 19. Keon Coleman, 23. I doubt that, but it's kind of just a way to see a simulation of what I think might have, of what, who might be available when we pick. So we're looking here. We've got some good players. Cooper DeJean, solid safety. Kingsley Smartiata had a top 30 visit with KC. Darius Robinson, Devondre Sweat, TJ Tampa. I've heard good things about. Troy Franklin, Adonai Mitchell, Lad McConkey. Really, there's some good players here. If we just kind of go ahead and sort, looking at the receivers, it's not that big of a need. I really think looking here, I think I'm gonna have to take Penix. And I know you might say that's crazy, but just listen here for a minute. Your quarterback isn't going to be around forever. Mahomes, one day he's going to retire. And I think if we draft Penix, who's actually my top quarterback for the past 20 drafts classes, he's actually my number one quarterback out of all those classes. I think you can keep him around until Mahomes retires and then get a couple years out of him. I think at 32, I think that's way too good of an option to pass up here. So let's just carry on. All right, Adonai Mitchell, the Chargers, Troy Franklin, Darius Robinson, Cooper DeJean. Okay, I'm just kind of seeing who falls, see if I might want to trade up. I don't know if I will, but just in case, it's good to see who goes. Take a look at the board, who's available. There's still some good players I like, who I don't know if they'll be available in real life, but there's definitely some guys I like. We have some trade offers. I don't care. I'm not trading. So let's start off. Let's look at some of our big needs here. Let's see. Okay. Of course, needs. They've got some of our needs up here. I don't know if I completely agree with this. I think it's a little bit probably too early to take a kicker or punter. Just the value's not great here in the second. It's not horrible, but the value's not incredible. Linebacker. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about the linebacker class. Peyton Wilson, good RAS score, 6'3", 233. I think I might go ahead and take Peyton Wilson. I'm not sure. Let me spend a little bit more time looking at this. You've got some good players. I think actually I'm going to address the receiver need with the recent uncertainty with Rashee Rice. I'm not going to speak more on that right now. So I'm going to take, everyone's favorite guy. I know a lot of people on NFL Twitter especially like him. I'm going to take Devontae Walker here at 64. Maybe a little bit of a reach, but I think he'll be gone if we don't. So I think we've hit it out of the park so far with two just great picks. I think those guys are both, incredible. I think the fans would love this draft so far. This would be a top tier draft so far. So now just looking how things go, this is where I start to become a little bit less knowledgeable on the players. I still obviously know a lot of people, but here we are about to pick again. And once again, this is not a trading mock draft, so I'm not going to trade. Now let's see. I'm looking. Oh, I just saw something really enticing. I think if we go, I know we've got ourselves a quarterback with Penix, but obviously I know uncertainty. What if he gets hurt? I don't think he will, but I think just to be safe, to get that certainty, every good team needs three quarterbacks. Last year the Chiefs had Patrick Mahomes. Last year, all the best teams have had three quarterbacks, So I think here the pretty obvious choice is honestly, I'm kind of mixed between some of these quarterbacks, but I think the obvious choice has got to be Spencer Rattler. I think that's just the best choice available there. I think he's, top 5 player in the class. Definitely so. I think getting him at 95 is incredible value. You get yourself a great quarterback 3. You're never going to be the Niners in the in the NFC Championship a couple years ago. But now that you've added Spencer Rattler and Michael Penix to your team, I think so far I really am liking how this draft going. I really think we've capitalized on our needs and really done a great job just filling the holes on our roster. Now here we are. Back to everyone. Let's see, what position would I like here? I think looking at how I based value, I think I'm gonna take, Texas. I'm not personally a fan of Texas, but they've got some good players. I'll admit they get some good players out of the draft, and that definitely doesn't change with guys like Jaylan Ford. I think he's a really great player, and I know linebackers. Just one of our top needs, especially according to this it is. And who am I to disagree with this website? So I think based on that, I've got to go with one of the best players available here and take a linebacker, Jaylan Ford from Texas. I mean, who am I to disagree? So I think so far this draft is going great. If we just take a look, we've got Michael Penix, Devontae Walker, Spencer Rattler, and Jaylan Ford. I mean, in my opinion, that's a top tier. If we had this draft, I would be thrilled as a Chiefs fan. This is just, I think I'm loving how this is going. This is going great. Back to all so I can see who's available. Here we are again, 159. Let's see. I think it's time to get, I know I said it was a little bit too early in the second round, and I might have sat on it a little bit too long, but I really love, I'll throw this one in for y'all. I'll take Harris and Mevis. Y'all Missouri fans are going to like this. I mean, Butker, I don't know if he'll be around all the time. He might retire. He might, do some bad stuff or something. Who knows at this point after what's happened today or yesterday. Today as I'm filming this. But so I think getting yourself that backup kicker for insurance is just a great idea. And I think 159 is no way too early for him. So let's just keep going on. I'm just loving how this draft is going. I think we've really filled out the needs on our roster a ton. So now we're about here picking again, 173. A lot of picks in this class. Not really a lot of picks, but because this is our last pick. These picks are just kind of close together. Now let's see. Where do I think the best needs fall? I think if you look at center, I think center is probably one of our top needs. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and take. That'd be a little bit of a reach. Look at guard. I think I'm gonna take Hunter Nourzad. I mean, didn't have an RAS score, but I'm sure he probably wasn't at the combine. But I like people that don't go to the combine. You're on my team. That's a big hole filled right there. Center number 2. That's exactly that's the area we got to work on. Especially, I think that's one of the best players available. I think we've done a great job filling all our needs this draft. And best part is we've still got one more pick. We can still add another premium player. I'm honestly not sure what position to add here. We'll just have to wait and see. I'll see who the best player available is. Joe Milton. Oh, I wanted Joe Milton. Oh, I should have taken Joe Milton. Great quarterback for you. I mean, if you don't have 4 great quarterbacks on your roster, then you don't deserve to have a job as a GM. If you don't draft 3 quarterbacks, then I don't know what you're thinking. It's kind of the boring part here, 7th round, before we haven't picked yet. Yeah, and here we are. Well, last pick, we have some trades. I'm not doing that. I don't really care. But now if we go and look at quarterback, I gave y'all from Missouri. I gave you the Mizzou fans. I gave y'all your guy with Mevis, the thicker kicker. So now I think it's time I give Kansas fans. Kansas State. We don't really care. But I think it's time I give Kansas their guy. And like I said before, if you don't have 4 great quarterbacks on your team, then what are you doing? So let's add Jason Bean to the roster with our last pick in the 7th round. I think that's incredible value. I think he could end up being a top 10 player in the class. He's got a ton of, athletic ability. He can really produce. He's shown a lot. He's, played a lot of snaps. He's really shown he knows what he's doing. And I think that's a great way to round out that mock draft. We'll take a look at the full thing in a second, and I'll kind of give you my final thoughts on it. But I think it was a really good mock draft. So yeah, here we go. We started off, I think, with a banger with Michael Penix. I think that's just a banger of a pick at 32. I mean, you're getting yourself potentially the best player in the class at a position of need. Quarterback 2 is a position of need. That's a luxury pick right there. And then Devontae Walker, fan favorite. I've heard, a lot of people on Chiefs Twitter just love that guy. Love his abilities, We love Veach to pick him, so I went out and did it. And then we've got another great quarterback, Spencer Rattler from South Carolina. I think he's got a lot of upside once again, like Penix. Rattler had a couple struggles at South Carolina, but I think I've totally watched all that film on him, watched every snap, including good old elementary school flag football. I've watched each of those snaps, and that's really what I base it on. I base my film watching on what did you do in elementary, what you do in fourth grade elementary championship. If you can produce there, then I know you're producing on my football team. But going on, we've got Jaylan Ford, linebackers, another big, huge need for us, Tranquill and Bolton and Chenal, but adding Jaylan Ford makes that top roster in the league, top linebacking core out there. Then another big need of ours. I thought I'd give you another fan favorite guy, Harrison Mevis here. I think kickers, you gotta have a kicker. You gotta have a great kicker, and we've got 2 now in this mock. Then I went ahead, Creed Humphrey had some snapping issues. Maybe you consider moving him to nose tackle or something. Flip him on the other side of the ball, move him to nose tackle because he can't snap the ball well enough maybe. So you draft a replacement here at 173. And then to round out the draft, we got ourselves a, top player in the class with Jason Bean. And I know some of y'all might disagree, but one of the reasons I think he's a top player in this class is back in 2000, back when he was in elementary school, back in the 3rd grade, they were actually down 4 touchdowns in their elementary school championship, and he at half, and he came back all the way. Or sorry, not elementary school championship. This was at recess. They were down a lot at recess, and he made a great comeback. And if you can make a great comeback at recess, then I believe you can make a great comeback in the NFL. So I think that's a great draft. That's like an A++. This would be one of the best drafts of all time, I think, especially looking at our needs. Maybe I drafted a couple too many receivers. I don't know if I needed to draft Devontae Walker. Maybe that a little bit of a luxury pick there, but it's all right. I think I really addressed the needs well in this draft. Let me know your thoughts. See you in the next one. Peace.